Hey y'all, happy Tuesday. Happy February. It's coffee chat time, and I thought today we talk about creative flow, self-care, and listening to your inner creative voice. There will be a blog post linked below. I'm going to get it published around the same time that this is going up. So I'll be publishing it while this is uploading. But anyway, have you ever felt your creativity has actually gone on strike? I have. For a while, things were a mess. A mess. My creativity was coming in waves, and sometimes I was peaking, and other times I was crashing. Speaking of crashing, after burning the candle at both ends, I finally took some time for me, for self-care, and I had a bit of a staycation and then a bit of a vacation back last month in January, and I needed it. Now it's February, it's the month of love, but for me, February is also the month of self-love, self-care. And since last year, and last year was a doozy, I've been slowly but surely finding my creative flow. It's been a lot of trial and error, but I've tried to keep an open mind and let things grow organically. And so far, that's working out really well. But at the same time, I've been trying to manage my creative life, the work parts. It's not easy, and it's definitely a work in progress, but I'm getting there. The past few months, we've been overrun with everyone's boxes and crates as my mom and my son have moved in. We've also been inundated with tools and barn supplies and barn and house DIY projects, not to mention what's been going on in the world. The barn studio and the house weren't the only things that we were working on, but they were top priorities. The barn studio was such a big project and a creative one that it took up a tremendous amount of my headspace, not to mention my energy, my time, but also my creativity. And it helped me get back some of my creative flow. I chose the word cultivate as my word for this year, and cultivating my creative practice has really been a great deal of trial and error for me. Lots of happy little accidents that really have helped me practice mindfulness, positivity, a lot more. But between my creative projects like the barn studio conversion and my planning system and journaling, I've actually learned a lot about how my creativity ebbs and flows, as well as what inspires me, what really inspires me. I've also learned what hasn't and what doesn't work for me. Self-doubt, fear, comparison, and FOMO, the fear of missing out, have been big triggers, and that has influenced me in negative ways. And I'm not going to say I still go through bouts of self-doubt at times. I still hear that little nagging negative voice of comparison. That's really, truly, comparison is the thief of joy, y'all. And I still feel FOMO here and there, but I've learned to write some of that down. I've written down things in the pages of my journals. This spread is horrible, or this video makes no sense, or what are you even doing on YouTube, much less Patreon, or but if I had that folio or that notebook, that fountain pen, that watercolor palette, I bet my journal pages would be prettier, or my video would be better, or my art would be better. Da 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 da. No. I take the time now to journal about my feelings and my thoughts on whatever it is that's got me in the trenches, whether it's self-doubt, comparison, FOMO, or whatever else. I actually write those things down now, and I'll journal about it, why it's ridiculous to feel like that, why it's just the negative talk, it's the negative speak, and that's not really the case. It's not the truth, because half the time, whatever it is that I see that I think I might want because someone else is using it, it's usually more about how they're using it that I'm actually attracted to, not the item itself. Now, when it is the item itself, like other times, the item itself, then I look around my stash to see if I actually have something that's similar. And sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't. But I am working on so many things that are much more important than adding to my stash. I have stash. I don't really need anymore. Now, don't get me wrong. I have a little list of things that I need for the studio. But that actually includes things more like I need a pack of AAA batteries and a pack of AA batteries, a large pack. I need more glue sticks. I do need another set of Pigma Micron pens, but it's not immediate need. I am interested in researching softbox lights, and I actually do need some command strips. So some of those things are I need, and some of those things are things for the future. On Saturday, I wrote down clean and rearrange desks. I have some things I want to set out and organize the desk better, go through boxes, and organize stuff. So I'm actually working on that this week. Today's Tuesday. And I've actually emptied out a box. I just got to go through the rest of the stuff that was in the bottom of the box, sort it out, put it out, figure out what I'm keeping, what I'm not keeping. And then now that hopefully the weather's cleared up some, I can actually take some bins out of one of the lofts, get the ladder out of the garden shed, come in here, take some of the bins out, find my black TN that I know is up there, Cody. I'm getting to it. Just haven't had a chance yet. And I know it's up there. And then I'm going to take some of the boxes that I have that are up there, and before I put them back in the loft, I'm going to go through. You know, like I'm not going to go through every single box. I don't have time. But I am going to go through at least one of the boxes while I have some things pulled down and put, you know, I might have to go through every box to find the TN. I don't know, y'all. I'm working on things. Some of the things that I have bought, like I don't regret trying some of the things I've tried. Some of the things have worked. Some of the things didn't work. I learned more about what doesn't work as well as what does work and why it works for me by doing that. However, the more I've let things grow organically, especially with my journaling and planning, the more I find myself feeling creative, inspired, free, and the more my creative flow actually flows. That has, I think, to do with being flexible. Part of my self-care is making art. Creating art in some ways is a tool that helps me de-stress. It also helps lessen my anxiety. It helps me think, heal, grieve, listen to my inner voice. There's something really soothing about getting into the zone when I'm creating art, whether it's watercoloring, drawing, or doodling. Taking time to create art or to just doodle is important. It's a safe place. There's no judgment. And it's like tending a garden. Some days I need to spend some time on the planning. Other days I need to spend some time on the art. And other days I need to just relax and enjoy the sunshine. So whether I'm pruning or weeding, you know, like that, or planning out where things are going to go, or whether I'm nourishing and nurturing and watering, which would be the journaling and the art, or I'm just relaxing and enjoying the sunshine, taking a walk, reading. I've learned to listen to my inner creative voice, though, and that voice sometimes says you really need to slow down. Maybe you need to take an hour and read or doodle. Maybe you need to take a nap. That's what I did Monday. But I started the listening path, The Creative Art of Attention by Julia Cameron, the author of The Artist's Way. I've got a video on it. I started that on February 1st. And it's, like I said, it's a 6-week self-guided program. And so far, it's been great. The introduction video is already up, but I'm going to be, I think, doing videos on it, on updates on it on Saturdays, because that way everybody kind of has a chance to kind of catch up. Some people have just gotten the book, and I think that's what I'm going to do. But I thought I'd mention it here because I just finished week 1, and week 1 went well. It was listening to your environment. But I haven't been doing very well with the morning pages, and I'm hoping to get better at that when it comes to the check-in, which I will do Saturday. We're going to talk about that. Because yeah, I did 2 artist dates, as a matter of fact. I have been doing the walking, and I did really well with her little exercises, but have not kept up every single day with morning pages. Hopefully I'll get back into the routine of morning pages really soon. So before I end the video, because this is not a very long coffee chat at all, I thought I'd do a little bit of a chat over some doodling, watercolor doodling, and it's not going to be very long because I am going to time lapse it, but I thought we'd do a bit of a chat with that, because I know some people have requested that I do some watercoloring, and what you're going to see me doodling is, you're going to see me watercoloring. I'm actually doing some little doodles to create a PDF for my patrons for March. I have several things that I'm working on. This is part of what I'm going to be, I just started this one. So what you're going to see is one of the extras that I'm doing. I try to do different kinds of things. Like I try to do more than one kind of thing for the PDFs. I've just gotten back into doing the PDFs for my patrons, and I'm really excited. I have been thinking about doing the membership thing on YouTube. I don't know how to do it. I don't know anything about it. Like I know there are these little emoticon, facecon things that you can do. I don't know anything about it. If somebody knows about it and is interested in helping me, let me know. But what I'm going to do is you'll be getting the same content in the membership thing on YouTube that I have on Patreon. Patreon is changing some of their stuff, like when things are due, like when you pay or when you get paid for or whatever. And there are some of you who would love to get what I get on love to get what I do on Patreon, but don't like Patreon, the site itself. So I thought the membership thing might be actually kind of fun for those of you who are interested in it. I have 3 tiers, 3 actual where you can subscribe to tiers on Patreon, and that's the $3 tier, the $5 tier, and the $11 tier. The $3 tier are coffee chats. $5 tier is more of like a vlog or like a fun and a behind the scenes kind of thing. And the $11 tier are the art and more of the personal stuff. Like I talk about things and I do watercoloring and journaling and stuff like that. I thought about doing $1, $3, $5, and $11 on here. So the only thing that would be different is the YouTube membership would be $1, and I'm going to be doing more posts and pictures, maybe an extra live video. I don't know exactly. Y'all let me know if that's something you'd be interested in, is the YouTube membership thing. Because it's not going to be any extra content except for the $1 thing. Patreon, it's not really great to have the $1 thing on Patreon because of how they have the taxes, especially if you're overseas. I thought the $1 thing might be great where I post like a picture and just a hey, thank you, and maybe do like a live video once a month for all the members. Um, if you're a member, that way it would be live. Patreon would get it, y'all would get it, everybody would get it. Anybody who's a member, if $1 or more, I would do an extra live video, and I will figure out when, based on whether there's a need or a want for that. So y'all let me know in the comments below, and I'll see y'all again really soon. Thank you for being here. Love y'all. Bye. And the Almanac, A Daily Dose of Wonder by Jill Badonsky. that Today, the Daily Soul Vitamin says, helped are those who create anything at all, for they shall relive the thrill of their own conception and realize a partnership in the creation of the universe that keeps them responsible and cheerful. Alice Walker. It's National Inventors Day. Mia Farrow said, I get it now, I didn't get it then, that life is about losing and about doing it as gracefully as possible, and enjoying everything in between. So in your journal today, the prompt for this says, explore where you stand with this quote or do this repeated completion. Life is about. The dose of mirth. I think it pisses God off if you walk by the color purple in a field somewhere and don't notice it. Alice Walker. Could write something about that quote. Today, my oracle card for today is about gratitude. That's the card that I pulled. And the affirmation on it says, be grateful for abundance, life and appreciation for what you have, and more good things will come. Today, I will focus on being grateful. I am grateful for my bed, the roof over my head, running water, my clothes, my shoes, my friends, and my country. I give thanks for the birds, the grass, the trees, and flowers. I will say thank you, and again thank you, and my life will blossom and be filled with joy. Now, I'm not necessarily all that grateful for the state that our country is in right now, but I am grateful for my country. In the book called Conscious Creativity, Look, Connect, and Create by Philippa Stanton, she talks about comparison assassination. And she says that there's a lot written about comparison at the moment. It is becoming increasingly obvious that social media is a powerful engine fueling negative comparison and low self-esteem. We find ways to evaluate ourselves through comparison, but we don't usually come out on top. Comparison has always been around, but it currently seems almost impossible to avoid. Social media feeds us with what is most detrimental to our personal accomplishments and values, gaining influence with our addictive consumption of it. Looking at other people's lives and work can be incredibly inspirational, but we have to be in the right frame of mind to take it that way. There's this Dutch word called benign. I'm butchering that, but anyway, it means benign envy. And it refers to an envy that motivates you to self-improvement deriving from another person's impressive example. This is a positive take on envy, but it's easier said than done. Everything screams at you not to compare yourself to others, but quite frankly, it's inescapable and can very quickly lead to an awful creative atrophy. Envy or comparison can make you doubt your own abilities. It's time-consuming. It depletes your drive, muddles your inspiration, and evaporates any confidence in something you felt was important to say. The success of others, both financial and creative, can become your own personal paralysis, even if they appear to be actively encouraging you to achieve your goals. Therefore, it is vital to acknowledge at the start of any creative process that this feeling is unfortunately an inevitability, but it is universal and perfectly normal. If you can acknowledge it up front and recognize your own unhelpful patterns of the process, then you can start thinking about strategies that can help to keep that at bay. And I think that's important. I have been reading Conscious Creativity on and off for a good while, and I find it really helpful. It is very inspirational. There's a quote in here by William Blake: "I will not reason and compare. My business is to create." And that is true. My business is to create. Because I create content and I watch others who create content, I am constantly inspired by other people, and that does influence you. And because I am on social media creating, it can sometimes make you feel intimidated because there are so many people out there who do such wonderful, phenomenal things that it can make you feel like you aren't quite good enough. Like I talked about before, in the self-doubt and the fear and stuff like that. But everybody's different, and what I bring to the table is different than what somebody else brings to the table. Just like what you bring to the table will be different. We're all unique, and how we do things is unique. Whether it's PDFs and collage, or your journal pages, or your spreads, what you journal about, whether you use one journal or 5 journals, whether you journal and plan together. No matter what it is that we're doing, we have to do our own thing. And I think that's the only way that we're going to be happy, is if we're doing our own thing. Maybe we enjoy doing something similar, or maybe we enjoy using collage bits. Maybe we don't want to create art. We want to use other people's art and pictures or whatever, things from magazines. I think whatever it is, as long as you're being true to you and you're doing what you really want and what really resonates with you, that's the important thing. And the more that I let things go, the more that I let things flow organically, and the more that I'm into my creative flow, the more creative I am, the more authentic I am, the more happy I am, the more I have this state of constant creative flow. And I'm going to be sharing more of my creative process. Soon, you'll see a video about my journal process from start to finish, and then you'll see more about my planning from start to finish. I'll see y'all again real soon. Thanks, y'all. Bye.